Hiya! Hiya! Look who it is! It's Nicole Valentine here with tellofilms.com, and I have 3 amazing ladies. This is Nancylee Myatt. What? I'm gonna do that after every free. Christina Cox. What? Oh, you know, Liz Vassey on the end. What? And we're here to discuss a little Nikki Nora. You can do that all together. We should probably do it in unison.
Okay,
ready?
That will end badly.
Right?
It will,
No,
but
it's
let's
not.
try it.
Let's do it. Ready?
It's gonna be
It's
so
just a
bad.
what?
Okay, you guys do it and show me
Sometimes you
how.
do
No,
this.
just cue us because we don't know.
That's it.
I almost
Ready?
bit.
Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm going to be the only one that does this. I've been here before.
No, honey.
Anyway, fine. Okay. Ready? It's going to happen.
Okay,
I'm going to
here we
look at the
go.
camera when I do. We're just going to all go, what?
All right.
Ready? Go. What? Okay, go.
I actually don't have the sort of like same point of view that they have about casting. I got lucky that they even showed up for the script. That made me really happy. But they'll probably tell you the story of how they came together at CBS. Kind of, right? Or
You
whatever.
started it.
Great.
You knew it
They may not tell that at all. I don't know.
Well, the regular casting process, which is tap dance for your life, and try not to throw up on the producers when you go into the room because you're so nervous. And, you never have any idea if it was any good. And then apparently it was not bad because I was testing. And there was a room full of girls who were making sure that everyone in the room knew they were straight. It was really important.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know this was going on outside of the room. Had no
And I was
idea.
like, well, I don't fucking care. Like, how is this pertinent to the conversation? And there was a lot of, my boyfriend is picking me up after the test because I like cock.
Really? I like cock t-shirt. I thought was a bit much on the one girl. Yeah.
She's down.
All right, Natalie out.
And we had to go in for a chemistry read because Les Moonves wanted to make sure that A, we were believable as cops, and B, believable as partners. And I don't, it never occurred to me to judge what the character's choices are. This is a character who happens to be in love with another woman. Whoop-de-doo. Pardon my language. And
I've never heard "do" before. So
I love the cock doesn't matter.
she said classy, right here on tellofilms.com.
But wait, I want to before you talk about chemistry, I want to say one thing about these girls. They set the watermark so high that I felt really bad for everybody that sort of like came in. Especially Christina came in during the process when we were seeing a lot of people, which is no fun, and I apologize for that. But when she walked in the door, which was probably in the first 3 days that we did this,
Which is historically not a good time to come in.
because
everybody and their goat is reading at that point.
That goat was not a lesbian. It was a straight goat.
It was a straight goat, a sure straight goat. So after all the straight goats went through, Christina was in,
And a stage of others.
That's right. Hello. And when she walked out of the door, I went, that's my Nora, and that's the watermark. And somebody has to beat Christina out of this role. And seriously, from that point on, that was it. And everybody sort of agreed on that, and there was nobody else around. So
I hadn't come in yet. I didn't even.
We went all the way to network for the test.
And then
without Liz. First.
I had done a pilot the year prior to that that was about 2 female partners that were cops, but they weren't
liked that
lesbians. I had just
Partners,
done that.
right?
Yeah, I had just done that pilot. I think you'd seen it, and
was
so
great,
I got
yeah.
approached about coming in to read
Right.
for Nikki Nora, but it was going to shoot in New Orleans, which was a place that I loved, but I wasn't necessarily sure that I wanted to move right away because
it was a relocation conversation.
yeah,
That's a big deal.
And I was about to get married in like 2 months, and so
It felt like 2 weeks after we shot.
yeah,
Right?
it was coming up.
close.
So it just was a lot at once, and then it finally came down to, will you come and meet the girl that would play your lover? And we meet
And we
her.
said it like that, too.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we meet the girl that would play your lover.
Because what had happened is we went with both Nikki's and Nora's. We went to the network, and
Which is a terrifying process, you guys. It's the worst thing ever.
Oh, it's really fun to have 50 network executives stare down at you in suits and not laugh or smile or look
Ever.
engaged at
Because
all.
they're all just going, can I get 100 episodes? I mean, it just sucks. There's nothing.
And you
lovely
sign
about
your
it.
contract before you walk in there, so
Oh,
you
yeah, I
know
don't
how
know
much
if we know
money
that.
you make to stand or like you know how much you're going to make or lose.
Yeah, they don't
right
let you
in front.
walk in the door unless you sign your contracts,
Yeah.
which is crazy because there's so much anxiety on that and the hopeful, I'm going to have this for 5 years, I'm going to need that. It's a terrible, terrible process.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I read with 3 Nickies, and there was nothing there because it got to the chemistry part, and they'd be like,
Yeah, seriously.
just fear. It was just weird. And like all really good actors, like everybody was a really good actor. It was just like that thing was not frigging there.
And I do want to give credit to the actual network executives in our reading and our studio executives because they sort of got what it was. I mean, Christina's the only one that sort of survived after that process. And we went out looking again. But they knew it was important. I mean, they weren't being, salacious or frivolous about it. They knew that the choice of these two was really, well, we were hanging a franchise on it. It was important. So they cared.
They did. They cared. So I had to go and meet Christina at CBS and
go in and read again.
And you understand, the day they were reading together is when they met.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, right? Okay, let's have a chemistry read. I've never met you. How are you? Let's make out. I mean,
but it was interesting because we rehearsed in the hallway, and we kind of knew, we just kind of knew right away that it worked.
Before we even rehearsed.
Yeah, it
we
was
came in the room and we went, hi, and I went, oh, well, this is done.
Well, it was fine because the whole thing was
I
so
cried
ridiculous.
No, I did.
And peed a little.
I did.
Well, that's what you told me.
Well, I always pee a little.
Yeah,
That's a whole different.
I know.
It's a whole
but
different problem.
It was interesting because the first thing out of your mouth to me was, "Are you comfortable playing a lesbian?" And I was like, well, yeah, I'm actually really comfortable playing this woman who's in love with an amazingly hot woman. I mean, I don't think you play a lesbian. I didn't have any issues with it at all, and
Just so
neither did you, and because it just
See,
seems
but you have to understand, I asked that
Such a
question
weird-
because so many actresses turned it down because of that in town. It was so ridiculous. I mean, we sent out the script and people were like, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Great character, great
But
story, great people.
no.
I think that's changed a lot in the
Oh,
last.
it's changed since
I
we
mean,
did
it's
it.
like
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, I'm really happy about that because now there seem to be so many characters starting to appear on television, and L Word took off after that, and I think it's starting to be something people don't think twice about.
I agree.
In that context.
Yeah.
Okay, so chemistry read and audition.
So then I had to go in the room because I hadn't read for the network yet, so I had to go in the room first and read a scene that was just a solo scene.
Separate scenes and then together scenes.
And then I went out, and then they had us go back in together, and we had to do the bathtub scene in there, in the room in front of all the people.
They had to make believe the bathtub scene.
Yeah, so we were sitting on the floor, I think. Weren't we? Or, no, we were in chairs. They put us in
Chairs,
two chairs,
yes.
side by side, which is comfortable.
Because it was the year of Nipplegate.
Yeah.
It was Janet Jackson Nipplegate. So we actually had to roll back on any of the physicality because everybody was walking on eggshells.
Right? Wasn't there a conversation about kiss or no kiss?
Don't
No,
kiss.
Don't
We
kiss at the
weren't supposed to
network.
kiss.
Yeah, we weren't
Network.
supposed to kiss the network.
Chemistry read, don't kiss.
Yeah, which was
All
really
right,
ridiculous.
Whatever, I don't care.
Plus, I can't imagine. I know. I love you.
You're awful nice.
But it kind of, I think we both kind of knew it was going to work when we left. I mean, it sort of just felt right.
Yeah.
And we both.
I cried and peed a little. It was great.
I kind of felt like when we went in after meeting in the hallway, we talked for like 30 seconds. Oh, and we talked about someone.
Oh, I remember. Oh, that's right.
And then it was like, well, I'm done.
Yeah.
And we went
was
in the
kind of a
room, and I
code.
was like,
Did you see
oh,
that
network
moment?
executives. I didn't even.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. Well, also, you don't, I mean, you probably know this now, but I called my agent right after I met you, too, because the whole thing was, well, if I don't feel like we get along, I mean, this is fine, but this is big. If the whole thing was a move, it was all logistics. It was just, if it got picked up, I had to think really long and hard
I'm
about
kissing
whether
a
I wanted to-
chick. I'm moving to New Orleans.
I wanted to like
There's a lot
whoever
going
my
on.
love interest was going to be on anything where I might move. I wanted to like him or her very much, and so we met, and I immediately called my agent, and I was like, okay, gotta go rehearse. It's fine. Okay, yeah, no, she's great. Okay, bye. And it was just like, and he was like, that was fast. And I said, no, it's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all very good. Well, part of it was the worry that it was going to be some of those girls that you were talking about that were going to try real hard to be something that they weren't and not come at it from a very organic place, and so it was just a relief.
I just don't think there was a lot of role models too for them to see what it was on TV.
Yeah.
They just didn't get it. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we, so I got to New Orleans first, and I walked. We went on a scouting thing, and on Bourbon Street, and walked into the bar that we ultimately shot the opening scene of the show, which, not ironically, just sadly, 'cause
Erotically? What?
ironically, was the last scene we shot. Right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, and we were like beat.
It was sunrise.
Oh, that's right.
We had shot the bathtub scene. It was almost a 24-hour day. We shot the bathtub scene, all the way up until the sun went down, and then we went downstairs, right, and shot the or downstairs and down the block. And
and I had to punch that guy, and I punched him. Do you remember that?
I know, what a pussy.
You really punched him? I didn't mean to. I had a big
cried.
ring. I didn't mean to. I had a ring on like
He
this.
did not.
Sack up. He cried.
The problem was they kept saying you're not close enough because they were trying to cut in with doubles and stuff, and so they finally had the two of us together, and they were like, it isn't selling if it's not closer. It isn't selling if it's not closer. And I was really tired, and I didn't mean to, but the ring was bigger than I knew. It really was a gigantic ring. So
I know, you
ended up
felt horrible. I
slapping
shouldn't
him.
tease about it. You
I felt so horrible. And then the second I punched him, he looked up and he went, "It's okay. I mean, it's not like I'm going to sue you or anything." And I was like,
She was completely upset. Of course, I went over to him and I went, okay, you're a day player. These are my stars. She apologized. That's enough. I mean,
he was really okay. It scratched him.
But
and
it's
he's
not
fine.
funny.
But the whole thing was just like, oh.
And we were 24 hours, and I'm like, the last scene's out the door, and that scene changed drastically from however you all saw it. We have no idea how you've seen this pilot, but for those of you that haven't seen the pilot, the version that is out there in the world doesn't have the kiss. The original version had a kiss in that scene, the opening scene of the pilot, which mostly was there in the script, because in the script it was a great read. You read the teaser, you don't know what's happening, you think they're undercover cops, and then suddenly you go, what? Right,
Did I just
and
see
that's,
that?
you did, and that's what happened, which was great. So we shot it two ways. We shot with and without the kiss, and ultimately did not use the kiss because, and I have to give the network credit for this. They were worried about testing. They said, if we show that they're a couple in the first 2 minutes of this pilot, people might not come back. And if you give them an opportunity to really care about these people and be invested in their lives, then you're going to show up again. And part of me really wanted to go, but it's there and we should show it. And I went, they're really right. That's so right. That's the first time I kind of like folded on one of the big sort of like gay issues of the script, but it was right. But we shot it. It's there somewhere.
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere. It's in there at dawn when you were completely exhausted and whatever. Okay. So anyway, long story longer. I walk into that bar. We're scouting that day. First day I got into New Orleans, and I'm with Pam Williams, who's a fabulous, wonderful producer of ours. She worked for Laura Ziskin, who also produced Nikki Nora. And we walk into this bar, and it's St. Patrick's Day. And up on that stage from the opening scene are two girls who are there partying. And they're basically topless with kind of shamrocks here.
Festive.
I know, right? I took a big deep breath and I went, oh man, I'm home. It's going to be such a great shoot. They probably don't know that. They wouldn't have come to work for me. And those girls were that's right. They got there a week before me and they're like,
They're still there.
Okay, so, but you guys, the shamrocks are still there. Right, so they arrive about 3 days later, and you might want to talk about some of your research out in the quarter, the two of you together.
Oh, that's right. I forgot because we were drunk.
Yeah, great.
I
passed.
We just would go out drinking together at night,
And we had false identities.
They did.
And until we got into too much trouble to remember our false identities. And
so they were going out as a couple. I said, go out as a couple. See how it feels. Be
we were
it
in
feels.
town on a banking convention from Bank of America.
we were very excited because we were going to adopt a Cambodian baby together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your false name was Taylor.
That's right.
The Taylor. And then at the little Hobbit house with a big grand piano in it, we'd been talking to a bunch of people telling the stories of how we were adopting our Cambodian baby once the Bank of America gave us the go-ahead for our domestic partnership.
As you do.
As one does.
Yeah.
And another guy reaches across the table and says, sorry, I didn't get your name. And she says, Liz! And then the other guy goes, I thought you said your name was Taylor. Liz.
And then you're Liz Taylor. No.
Yeah. Shit. And we just went, I hear my mom!
I have, the one sort of point of view I had a lot of great POVs. But we were walking down Bourbon Street one night before we actually started shooting, and the two of them were sort of like standing in front of me and walking down the street. And all the sort of frat guys and the Porky's guys on the block, men and women, sort of like parted the seas to let them walk through. And I turned to my other producer saying, we have a hit. I know we have a hit. Look at those girls, we have a hit. Wow. And that weekend, didn't make this up, women's Final Four basketball was being played in New Orleans, and a PE teachers convention. I could not make that shit
It was
up.
like the perfect lesbian storm, really. I mean, It really was. And to be perfectly honest, we both had taken our shirts off at that point when we were
Yeah, that's
walking
true,
down the
because they were
street,
trying to get
so
some
people-
beads.
Yeah.
That's what did it.
yeah.
I didn't know from the front. Talk about the day we shot the parade, all the machinations that went along with that.
It's honestly one of my favorite days on a film set ever. Like it's speaking of perfect storms, it just was so magical. You're in the French Quarter and there's an entire Mardi Gras parade there for you. And you get to do a chase scene with a gun.
With a gun?
Through the... Okay, so I kind of do like the guns a little. Only in a dramatic context.
Right.
And so it just was just this amazingly... It was slightly surreal. That it was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing exactly what I want. I'm actually getting to do exactly what I love. And it was just... For me, just
You're like Stunty McBruise a lot.
it was awful fun.
Stunty McBruise
She
a
had
lot.
bruises going all the
At
way up
Twitter.
and down her hip. We both ended up with a lot of bruises.
You did,
yours,
yeah.
yours, I have to say, was spectacularly about 27 or 28 different colors.
There was a pink Cadillac convertible in the parade that I had to do a hood slide over, and the problem with that hood slide, the Cadillac, is there's a chrome strip down the center of the hood. Normally when you're doing a hood slide, you don't want the big ridge. So every time I went over the car, and so it was, yeah.
It was pretty. It
She
very
was awesome,
pretty.
though. And that's...
My leg modeling days were over.
Well, no, that's the bruise then you see in the bathtub scene, but okay.
We
go
were
ahead.
showing real bruises in the
You were,
bathtub
I
scene.
know. You
Those were all
got
real.
your bruise because you took a
I took
header on that day, actually.
I had to leap from one balcony to the other.
Why
and-
was that, Liz?
Well, we had to be as nice about this as possible. We had a stunt woman who was lovely, who had doubled me several times, and when we first started out,
I'll be drinking during
we
this.
were different. We didn't match, so I'm just going to cut to that. We didn't
Yeah.
match by the time we did.
They just didn't
this
look
pilot.
the
we
same
didn't look
anymore.
alike anymore.
Right.
And we had actually done, I think, 2 different shows together. But at this point, she showed up, and people took one look at her, and I hadn't seen her in a year, and people went, "Oh no."
They both changed.
A lot. So basically, we just.
Well, no, I said you can't do the stunt because I was freaked out because literally it was jumping from up real live balcony to balcony.
So as she's saying you can't do the stunt, Liz is of course running up the stairs in the house and jumping onto the balcony and going, I'm here!
So
I wanted them to get flying by foy.
flying by point. So this way or that way. So I leave the set to go around the corner to see where we're going to have some gunplay, which is another tragic, crazy thing. And Liz does the stunt behind my back and jumps from balcony to balcony.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, but I did fall, and I didn't fall jumping. I fell walking into the building after I jumped, which, in a nutshell, is my life. So I fell and I cut my elbow, and I got myself bruised up pretty nicely too.
Yeah, it
but,
was good. It was a good
fine.
day, right?
I still have a scar from that, and I actually love it. I do still have a scar from that. Let's all look.
Well,
See
and
that little scar right there?
Is that
my
seriously
Nikki
from that?
little piece of
Oh,
Yeah, because then I went on
honey.
I went on my honeymoon.
My honeymoon after
a
that,
little bit
right.
after, and I was sitting on a train and I moved my arm and it ripped it back open again. And I was like, ah! I didn't like you in that second, but
I know,
otherwise I
honey,
love
I'm
you.
sorry.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
She did. She took a header on moss stones running downstairs.
Wow.
Like, we hired a marksman, somebody from the backwoods of Louisiana, to bring their gun and shoot at Christina. Not kidding. They loaded this gun. Well, I don't
In
know
my
what they
next
did.
contract.
Yeah. No, seriously, usually you put like a squib on the wall and it's like gunshot and boop, it explodes behind them.
Oh.
This dude was shooting the thing that was
I'm a trained
exploding on the wall behind her. And I didn't know that till I showed up and I went, he's shooting at her.
Yeah.
If
Which
she
is what you
doesn't
do
duck,
if there's
she's
no
going to
actor
get
in the shot.
it in the head. Oh my God. I freak out every time I see it.
There are little plastic beads. I blanked. I knew the name of this from FX because I played an FX person who would know the name of this, which I don't remember right now.
I like to call them Smitties.
Well,
Smitties. He was shooting some 9-gauge Smitties.
the little plastic ball,
9-gauge,
like a paintball gun
Yes.
almost, but it has a little bit of gunpowder in it, and it sparks when it hits the wall.
But
and
if
you
it
only
hits
do
your
it when
head,
you're doing a shot of gunfire hitting a wall. You don't do it if there's like an actor there, and it could go. Fook.
Unless it's you.
They rehearse it
me.
once.
Nora.
She runs into the scene. The dude fires at her. She's like, her?
Well, I instinctively died.
Oh my God! I was furious about that. Okay, whatever. And then there was horses, and it was
Awesome.
It was a big, and
great.
there was running on wet piers and up on boats
Yeah.
and jumping into shit, and they were such great sports
Talk
about
about
it.
the four-wheeler.
Oh, for you camera people, your husband would like this. The shot at the parade, the way we got everybody sort of running down the street was they had like an ATV with the cameras on it, which was cool. They cleared the sidewalk, and that bitch ass vehicle was like driving down there, and the dude was like, and that's how they got it. Just cleared on the sidewalk. It was really, really cool. Are we good? Did we get all this
stuff?
great
We
stuff?
got it.
All right.
Thank you.
We love you, and maybe there'll be a future for the show or a version of it, and whatever. The three of us will always be here drinking.
And watch for our weekly party. Oh, we have to do that again because I was not with the rest.
One more.
Okay.
Really?
And scene.